So this is my photography and videography journey from the day I got the camera to right now. By no means an expert. When I bought my camera, I didn't even know I needed an SD card to shoot with it. I knew nothing about this camera. I'm gonna let you guys know how I started out. I'm gonna tell you guys about my highs, my lows, what I regret doing, what I wish I would have done sooner. Because I believe the best way to grow is by embracing it all. I'll show you my terrible moments, but I'm telling you right now, all the terrible moments turn into lessons. If you're just starting out, I recommend tune out everyone else. And I feel like I won't be able to tell you anything that you haven't heard a million times already, but it is true. If it's something you are truly passionate about, then there shouldn't even really be a hesitance of should I do this or not. And if there is a hesitance, I feel like it is just the people you surround yourself with. For me, at least, it was a very, I want to say it was hard because it was very hard to start, but it is so much easier when you have friends, family that truly support you, and I was lucky enough to have that. My family was so supportive about it. My friends were supportive about it. I'm not wanting to make this religious at all, but it really started to come together when I started going to church a lot. Just having something as a centerpiece. And even right now, almost a year into this, I still struggle with making him the centerpiece of everything and being thankful for everything I've been given. I feel like once you truly understand your why, and to make sure you never forget that, is huge to growing. I'm gonna hop right into this. I'll show you guys me starting out. I'll even try to put in some of my work from the beginning. So I promise you my beginner work is way worse than yours. And I have a high-end camera. So February 1st is when I got my camera, and this is such a big tip. If you go and buy a camera, this was my first camera I ever bought, a Canon R6 Mark II. And I'm like, okay, well, it's selling for $2,200 right now, but it's only an extra $400 to come with a lens. And of course I need a lens. I knew that at least. I didn't know you needed an SD card, I'll be real. But I was like, okay, then I'll get this lens with it and it'll be perfect. So it was a 24-105 STM kit lens. I'll try to show a picture for you guys. The aperture, I think, was 4.1 to 7.1. And oh my gosh, I didn't even know what aperture meant. I didn't know. All I looked up was like, I wonder what the meters are. And it was pretty much, it's like, oh, it's a 1x to 4x. I'm like, that's pretty good. That's probably all I really need at the time. So I get my camera and everything. I'm like, okay, let's try this out. And I go into, I'm from Ashtabula County, and we have this Paralympic sports training camp called Spire. So went in there and tried to record some video and take some pictures, and oh my gosh, I didn't know what ISO was, I didn't know what aperture was, I didn't know what shutter speed was. So I'm in there breaking out my camera, trying to take pictures, and I'm like, dang, why is this so dark? I watched one YouTube video and people said to shoot on manual, and I had no idea what it even did at the time. And oh my gosh, I'm in the middle. I remember having my camera in one hand and my phone in the other, trying to find out, okay, how to make the photo brighter, I didn't know what words to say, what to use. It was a disaster. I was taking pictures at like 1/100th of a shutter speed, apertures at 8, ISOs at like 10,000 something. It was ridiculous. It was terrible. But I was just taking pictures, trying to see how it was working. And at the time, I would take the pictures and put them on my computer and edit them like on the media player that Windows has. Like, I didn't even have Lightroom at the time. Like, I am telling you, this was a disaster. It was terrible. But what I was telling you guys about was the kit lens. Oh my Lord, if you buy a camera, do not get it with the kit lens. Kit lenses are garbage. I was in that gym. Okay, this is later down the line when I knew my settings. I had my settings all down packed. If I went to zoom in all the way at 7 aperture, and this gym was already poorly lit, it was like I literally was recording like a black screen. It was, for a kit lens to go to 7 aperture is insane. So if it, for me personally, right now I'm using Tamron 24-70 2.8. If you could find an aperture that is just consistent through the focal ranges, it is a huge quality boost. I'm telling you right now. Yeah, so I started off at the Spire doing photos and videos, and this was like freelance, right? So I would just take pictures, take videos, and then my friend played on the team, so I would reach out to his friends. Do you want a mix? Do you want photos? This is how much I charge for photos, videos. So a couple reached out, and I was doing $80 a video, and the mix would be around like anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute and a half. The editing was so bad, I shot in Canon Log 3, and because that's what a video told me to do. And I was sending them mixes when it was the gray. I didn't even color correct it. Look, it was, I'm telling you, I didn't even know what I was doing. I was probably doing this for, let me see, February through July. And these months, I was really like, photography is not the way to go. This was a mistake. I can't make any money doing this. $80 a video. Keep in mind, guys, this is $80 a video. An hour drive time altogether, probably. There for 2 hours. I take all the footage back. I edit it, send it to them. The editing probably took 4 or 5 hours. I did not know what I was doing. So like all in all, each video would take me like 8 hours, 9 hours. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm making like $10 or $9 an hour. This is terrible. So then I'm reaching out to people that I am friends with. I was just DMing everyone I knew that played basketball, because this is winter. This is February. I had no idea what was going on. So I reached out to this Cleveland team, and I think it's a Cleveland AAU team. I reached out to them if they wanted a photographer, videographer, anything like that. And we got together, we were talking, we pretty much agreed on, I'd go out to their games and everything. And I was wanting at least $150, $200 video or just pictures I take of them. And I did that, I think 2 or 3 weeks. And I'm like, this is not it. Cleveland's a little over an hour for me. So it was like 2.5 hours of drive time, 2 hours there recording, taking photos, coming back to edit it for only 20 more bucks when this was so bad. I was hustling for like the first 3 months, and I probably made out with like 300, 400 bucks. Like, it was not good at all for me. And then I think later in June, I got the person I did the Cleveland pictures for. He reached out for prom pics, which I did for $100. And I'm like, can I not land anything else for over $100? Like, this is not a thing that you can make a lot of money off of without being booked all the time. At the start of July, one of my brother's friends reached out to me, and he was heavy into church at the time, and I like believed, but I wasn't going to church or anything at all. And he comes up to me saying he's getting engaged, and he would like pictures taken of it. And I was like, this is sweet, first person that actually wants something I offer on my website. And well, I didn't even have my website up at this time, actually. So I'm like, yes, engagement photos, that's something that like I could market, I could show people that I've done. And me and them talk, and we pretty much, it was an hour, 2 hours drive altogether, an hour editing. So 5 hours altogether. And it was for $200. And I'm like, oh my gosh, $40 an hour. Like, I thought I'm like, this is probably the most expensive thing I could sell. This is the best thing I can make money from. I don't think there's gonna be anything better than this. In the same month, when I was doing good, and I just got done with the engagement pictures, one of my friends reached out. I guess not even one of my friends. I played soccer with this kid, and he did four-wheeler racing and asked me to go take photos of him. I'm like, sure. And then me and him both agreed on a price for like $100 for it, because it was an all-day thing. It was 2 days I was there, and I take photos, send it to him, not thinking anything of it. and they both, him and his mom, stick me and end up not giving me any money for the shoot or anything. And at this time I was so like mad at not even them, but mad at myself for even, I don't know, I guess sending it to them without getting payment first, but I thought it was my friend, so it was no big deal. Anyways, that all went on. I was down for a minute thinking like this sucks, but most importantly, I think the best thing for me was I was like, I want to prove them wrong, you know, that I can make money from this, I can do this, but I wanted to prove it to myself more than anyone. So after that all happened, I started my Google My Business. I started my website, and number one thing was on the Google Google was to try to get as much reviews as I could, and then on my website just to make it so get as much reviews as I could in my area, so to transfer to them, go on my website to fill out a form, etc. So I think it was August when it came around. I was doing a lot of car shows just because I wanted to see them. I'd never been to them. I have a camera now, and I've seen people always take good photos of them, and I was like, this would be a sweet thing to do. Car photos are very fun, you know, it's very laid back. You're not talking to a client. There's no, you know, relationship or anything. It's literally, I'm going here, I like cars, this is a cool angle. And you could really, I think this is about the time I got Lightroom, and I was like, wow, you could really edit cars way more than you could edit people. I mean, like, I could change the color of a car. If it's orange, I can make it gray, I can make it blue, I could change whatever I want with it. You could do really exaggerated edits too, because it is a car and it's not a person, so you could really sculpture it how you'd want. So that was pretty much when I really started diving deep in editing, I think. And then I think it was, I was actually at one of the car shows, and I had a camera, and I'm going around taking pictures, and there was a guy there that offered to pay me to take photos and videos of the car show, because the photographer he hired didn't show up, and he just threw me $100 just to throw him a quick little video. I'm like, this is sweet, you know, maybe cars will be it. And I don't know if I want to say chasing, but trying to find where money was in this, because at the time I was like, I didn't have any friends in photography, I didn't know anyone, and I'm like, does this really just have no money in it? Or like, am I just looking in the wrong places? Towards the end of August, someone reached out to me from my Google My Business, and they wanted senior photos, and this is my first time ever doing senior photos. And I had packages. So people always said to do packages for their pricing, and I opted for, I'll try to show it on the screen as well. It's I had a calculator for my pricing, so it's like you select what service you want, how many hours you want, and then what package, add-ons, etc. And she goes in, fills the form out, looks at the calculator. It was an hour package for silver, okay, and then I'll show you on the screen what that would equate to. And all in all, she wanted tons of frames, she wanted tons of pictures printed, and all in all, so this is an hour thing for $500. And I was about to, when she said this and got on the phone and everything, when I tell you my hands were sweating, as soon as the phone called and she's like, yes, I'd love to, you know, gave me a down payment. And I'm telling you right now, when I got that feeling, got off the phone call, I was so excited. I couldn't even put it into words, like how good I felt at the time. And right after, it was very short-lived happiness for closing it. I was like, I've never done senior photos. I've never posed anyone. I don't know where to go. I don't know a million things. I was just so worried. So I'm like, my girlfriend that I'm still with right now, I was like, Emily, you and me have to do a photo shoot together. I have to see how I could pose you. I don't know what I'm doing. I've never done this before. And pretty much just like nervous for this date to take these photos. And me and her got together. I did a photo shoot of her. They turned out, in my opinion, pretty good for my first time ever posing. I'll show you some pictures here. And I was so excited to take this girl's first senior photos. And I'm like, yes, there's money. Like, senior photos is the answer. So then I go on September, October, November. I'm telling you, I don't know if it's just for me. I lived in Ohio, but that was the busiest season for me for sure. So right after that, I did a promo video for a gym that's near me for $200. And I thought that I was going in just doing it for free because I knew the gym owner, and gave me $200. I was ecstatic. October, I did a fundraiser for, it's called the APL where I'm at. It's for adopted bulldogs. And I did it for free. And it was where people would bring in their dogs and put them in Halloween costumes, and there's like, you know, tents and everything set up. But there's also dogs that are from the APL that wanted to be adopted, and they put them in Halloween costumes and pretty much try to have everyone there to try to, you know, have the dogs adopted. That was the main goal. And for that, I charged nothing, but I would take pictures of people and their dogs, and I would say this is completely free. Just, you know, reach out to me on my website, text me your phone number, and I'll send you the pictures for free. All I need from you is just a Google review would be more than enough from me, and I'd really appreciate that. And oh my gosh, I think it was a 2-day event, 4 hours each, just 8 hours. I was not busy doing anything. It was really fun. It didn't even feel like I was working at all. I think from the 8-hour event, I got roughly like 35 Google reviews, which, I mean, I probably took pictures of like 70 people, so like about half of them gave me reviews. And I'm telling you right now, if you would have gave me $100, $200, I would have taken the 35 reviews, because that put me above everyone else in Ashtabula County, which is where I'm at. So anyone that would look up photography or anything, I would be the top with the most reviews, and that meant more than I could ever imagine for that. So right after that, I was landing way more senior photos. I could really tell business was picking up and everything. So my first weekend I had of October, this is the only weekend I really had packed. So it was one weekend. I had 3 senior photos and I had 1 engagement photo. And I think all in all, it took me 5 hours of actual shoot time. And I think it was probably around like 10 hours. It took me to do everything, deliver, drive, get everything done. So 3 senior photo shoots and 1 engagement shoot, and it was $1,500. And oh my gosh, I'm telling you right now, that Sunday when I had all that money, I was like, oh my gosh, I have a business. I am so excited about this. This feels incredible. It just really showed from me picking up this camera, and I knew nothing, literally nothing about it. I had to watch so many YouTube videos on how to turn it on, white balance, what focus. I was on top of the world. So at the end of October, I did another engagement for I think $300. Something that is very nice is that I impressed both of the people I did engagement photos on enough where they are both doing their weddings through me, which I feel is like a huge, I mean, even when you're doing engagement shoots, if you're doing them, go above and beyond on it, because I promise you right now, even if it's an engagement shoot you're doing for free, $50, $300, put in overtime on those photos. You got to make sure they are beautiful. You just warm up that client as much as you can, because that little shoot could possibly be their wedding, and then that is a huge ticket. Later that month, I did another APL thing to have their dogs adopted. This was Christmas, so this was in December. And I did my first wedding ever. It was 6 hours. So it was me and my girlfriend that did it. I did most of the video. I was kind of hybrid during it. I probably did half photo, half video. My girlfriend was also there with just doing photos. And 6 hours, hour and a half away. So right there's 9 hours. Editing the video for them was probably 4. So there's 13. And then the photos and everything was hour and a half. So probably 10 and a half hours all said and done. And I charged them $25.66 for their wedding. And so that was when I got that check, top of the world. Like right now, this is December, so this is last month, and right now I'm feeling like that is the most I'll be able to charge for a wedding. But I just keep limiting how far and how high I could think of stuff. And you could see from before, you know, I thought $80 I couldn't get more from a video from that. Now I thought $200 was insane. I thought $500 for a shoot was insane. Now it's $25.66. And I hope I can make another video next year and just really show you guys, you know, $25.66, that was nothing then. Now it's, you know, $5 grand, 10 grand. And I really hope I could do better on YouTube and really show you guys my wins, my losses, my mistakes. And even right now, I can't even tell you how many mistakes I made already. And this is the new year. I'm recording this right now. It's January 10th. And I just now started running Google ads. And I've had people reach out to me for weddings. And this wedding I did for $25.66. I had two people reach out for weddings that they wanted photos for. And they were like, you know, kind of on the lower end. They're like, oh, it's like 8 hours. You know, I only have like $1,000. Do you think you could do my wedding? And looking back at it, it was such a mistake, but I was saying no because that's not what I was charging at the time. It was way under what I was charging. Like for those 8 hours, I would have charged like $1,800, $1,600, and they were wanting $1,000. And I'm like, I'm sorry, you know, like I could really only swing this, you know. And they both ended up finding someone else to take the photos. And looking back, I was so stupid. I wish I would have just said, you know, yes, I'm not busy right now. I'd love to add it to the portfolio. You know, but I just said no because I always see people say stick to your pricing, don't go below it. But I mean, I'm just starting out. I should have just taken it just to get extra money. And you know, you got to learn from your mistakes. I know it, like I messed up. So you know, these two wanted to pay me, you know, $1,000, $1,100. So I would have had $2,100 extra dollars this year, you know, to take photos. It's something I love doing, something easy, not really any expenses in it for me. And I said no just to stick to my prices. And this probably happened 3 weeks ago, and I'm telling you, this has not left my mind. Just like looking back, just, oh, you're so stupid. But you gotta just look back, you know, learn from it. You know, if I kept going on and being like, this is my price, I'm not dipping under at all, you know, like that'd be not learning from it. But really just taking your time and just understanding, you know, your wins, your losses, learn from it. I messed up so much. I had it so the busiest time of the year, September and October, that's like prime senior photo days. I go on my Google business website, my phone number is nowhere there. There's a weird thing with, if you have a Google My Business, your phone number just gets deleted. You have to re-put it in just to make sure it shows that you're active. So I had like a month of primetime season and my phone number wasn't even on my Google business. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, even if I didn't land one of those people during that month, it could have been at the low end $300. I'm like, but so to wrap this all up from the start to finish, it was 11 months that I started when I got my camera. So I did a little over $7 grand in 11 months. And I think the first 8 months of me doing everything, I racked in like $600. Like first 8 months, $600. Terrible. It was really shameful. I felt like I picked the wrong. This is funny when I'll say it like this, but this is probably what you're thinking as well. It's like, this is such a bad thing to like to do. And I feel like if you really understand how honestly dumb that sounds, like, oh, I wish I would have liked something better. I wish I would have loved to do something more. I think if you really understand this is something you love to do, so instead of saying, you know, why is this not working right now, just understand that it's more of a when will this work? What do I have to do to make this work? Because I mean, this is something I love. So why would I switch something around because, oh, this guy's making more money in it and that seems easier and he just keeps making money from it? It's like, well, is that what you love doing? Because if it really isn't not what you love doing, then I wouldn't put this much effort into it. I mean, right now, this year altogether, I probably made a little over 2K in profit from everything I've bought. And I mean, I have had the time of my life doing it. I've learned so much. And I mean, this year, of course, I want to make more money. But I mean, worst case scenario, even if I don't, I really love this journey. I love photography. I love videography. So in 11 months, I made around 7 grand. And this year, I'm really shooting to try to hit 30 grand. And I'll be right here trying to tell you guys my profit, my loss. Today I actually just registered under an LLC, so I'll tell you how that goes and everything. Yeah, I'm really wanting to hit 30K for the entire year, which I think is very possible now that I'm #1 in Ashtabula County. I highly recommend, if you are a photographer starting out, to make a Google My Business, get more reviews than anyone near you. Even if you don't get as much reviews, try to get somewhere near it. And I promise you, them searching on Google and wanting a photographer, there is not a warmer client out there. You could run ads on Facebook, you could have the most on Facebook, but in my opinion, I feel like Facebook, people are wanting to buy and are usually browsing a lot, and I feel like on Google, people need you. I feel like it is a way more, I think it is a person that is already in their mind purchased, and they're just looking to who they want to give their money to. It's like every time someone called me from Google, it is almost, if I told them like, yeah, I wouldn't really tell you to buy from me, that is how much they want to buy from you. And I feel like a Google My Business was a great kickstart for me. I would honestly have really no money to show for anything right now if I didn't start my Google My Business. I mean, it is literally free to set up. It is a no-brainer not to have one. I know I'm preaching them heavy. Is this guy selling me a course sponsored by anyone? I mean, I don't even have 500 subscribers. I rarely post, which I want to really post more this new year. But no influence. I just want to, whoever stumbles across this, really learn from anything I say. I hope it truly does help you out. This year, right now, I just started running Google Ads, first time ever, no experience with it. Right now, I think I've spent around $200 using Google Ads, and right now I secured one wedding from it, and it's around $1,750. Which is a good return on investment if I keep getting wedding clients. It's been, so I think it was the first week, someone reached out and said yes to me. And the second week, I haven't heard anything yet, unfortunately, so I don't know. I'll let you guys know how that's going. There was this girl that reached out for a wedding for my ad, and I told her my options, everything. We talked, and told her the price. She's like, okay, that sounds great. I'm gonna talk to my fiance. I was like, okay, perfect. And then I reached back out to them, and they're like, yeah, we found someone else. And oh my gosh, is that heartbreaking. The place that I work for right now, because this is not full time yet, which is really what I want to get into. Right now, I hang Christmas lights with my boss, and he told me he's very successful. He's a person I highly look up to. And he says, do not take anyone that doesn't take your business personal. And it's not anything you're doing wrong. It is not everyone that will talk to you will be your client. And truly hearing that, it was an instant just weight lifted off my shoulders, that really understanding that, I won't land everyone, which at the time, the Google My Business, I did no outreach. Everyone came to me. And I'm telling you right now, I think 16 people reached out to me, 15 said yes. And the one person that said no, I don't even really think wanted to buy or anything. And so everyone was coming into me, it was just whenever I'd be like, oh, sweet, someone reached out. Yeah, it's landed. And then this year I'm running Google Ads, and I reached out for a wedding, and someone says no, they found someone else. And it's just like a stab. It is just like, oh my gosh, is it because my website's not set up right? Is my ad's not right? Is my photos not good? Yada, yada, yada. You just start overthinking everything. And just, if I could give anyone advice, to not take anything personally, really just focus on being better than you were yesterday. Learn as much as you can and just improve as much as you can. And even if that's not photography wise, I mean, there's been days where I'm like, I feel like my photos aren't good. Like I need to get better with them. And I mean, even if your photos don't get better that day and you understand how, you know, to track expenses on a Google spreadsheet or something as simple as that, it doesn't seem like you're getting better, but you really are. So I feel like anything you could do to give you as much time to work on it as possible. Ask anyone that you know that could help you out, because anyone that's near to you, family-wise, friend-wise, if no matter who they are, they should support you. And if they don't, I feel like that will be a huge thing that will negatively impact you. And I feel like if you could have a good surroundings to grow with, it makes everything way easier. I'm pretty sure that's all I have for you guys. So 11 months, 7 grand is what I made. I think 5 grand in expenses. So I really only made 2 grand profit, but it was something I loved doing. I enjoyed the entire process. I mean, I didn't break even, I didn't go under. And at the beginning of the year, all I wanted was to pay back the camera, which was like $2,500. I made 7 grand, which, I mean, looking back from the person who bought the camera, you know, me a year ago would be excited to tell them I made 7 grand. But right now, knowing what I want to do next year, I feel like I did not do enough, and I definitely want to improve way more this year, which I hopefully do. And I want to document it for you guys so you guys could see my growth, the failures, the good, the bad. I really want to show you guys the bad, because oh my gosh, when you go on Instagram or see anyone, you only see their photos, you only see their highlights, you only see their weddings, their best photos. I want to show you the times where I took a photo shoot that was so bad that I messed up, that I really want to be transparent about it, which I want to do this year. So if you have any questions, comments, leave them down below. I'd love to answer them. Any other questions you have, I just want to be an open book to you guys. So anything you want to say at all, I'd love to see them, and hope you learned something. I hope you, even if you're way ahead of me, you could at least touch base and reminisce about the failures I had as well. I just want you guys to know, if you are starting out, there is always a brighter side. So right now for me, it's January, and I'm running ads, and boy, I am not busy at all. That's why I want to try to start on YouTube. And not having anything booked really sucks. Like right now, I feel like I'm not doing enough because I don't have anything booked. I don't have any, upcoming projects. So, I mean, right there, it's just, I know next month maybe I'll be busy. Maybe the month after that I'll be busy. But as long as you keep working towards it and chasing it, I feel like it will all come together. So appreciate you watching till the end, and I hope you found some value from this. So thank you so much.